Hi, Joe. This is Vicky.
Vicky,
Good morning.
good morning. I was thinking about you yesterday.
Okay, so here I am.
Is your area... No, wait a minute. What's your area code?
770.
Yeah, it's not showing up. I know. It doesn't say that. It says 909. Are you on Skype?
No, I'm not.
Huh. I wonder who that is on 909. Who is that?
No.
Yeah, I don't see that on there.
Good morning. 909 is Feli Soriano.
Hello. Can you tell me your first name again?
Feli?
Oh, Sally. Hi,
spelled
Sally.
F? Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Joe in Florida.
Good morning. My screen's not showing up, Joe. Hey, Joe, if you want to log in and see the same screen, that's perfectly okay. It won't interfere with me. My screen's not showing everybody coming in. Good morning. This is Joe Shoop. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Here with Joe Norman.
Good morning. It's a webinar also?
I'm going to hit a refresh button and see if that does anything for me. Ah, there we go. Now it worked. Yeah. Good morning. This is Joe Shoop. If you would kindly hit 4 star on your telephone keypad, that would mute out any background noise that's occurring at the moment. 4 star on your telephone keypad. Good morning. This is Joe Shoop. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Good morning, Dr. Dennis.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Line muted.
A number of people here that I... Vicky, are you still with us? See that number showing up?
Yes, I'm here.
Huh. Good. Well, that's good. It's nice to hear you. Voice.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes. Area code 909 has a hand raised. I don't know if you hit 5 star or 4 star. 4 star is to mute your background noise. 5 star is for any question you might have. I don't know. I'm going to lower that hand for a moment there, but let's see. Good morning. This is Joe Shoop. We have about a minute to go. As you're joining us, say hello. Tell us where you're calling from. Get rid of these tones. There we go. Hey, and let's see, one more announcement here is this is Joe Shoop, Dr. Dennis, Joe Norman. As you're joining us, if you want to say hello, just tell us hello, and then we're going to go ahead and mute these lines temporarily. If you lines
Conference
now
muted.
If you do have a question, 5 star on your telephone keypad at any time during the call will notify us that you do have a question, and we'll get that answered. The best way to, when we open your line, is to just identify yourself, first name only if you like, full name if you want to, and identify and ask your question, and we'll either address the person or direct it to the person you'd like to answer it, or just go ahead and put the question out. We'll decide who's going to answer it. But let's just go ahead and do that. 5 star raises your hand. You don't need 4 star anymore. We've actually dropped the background noise on our end. And so let me say welcome and good morning. Good morning, Dr. Dennis. Good morning, Joe Norman.
Good morning,
you guys.
Oh, good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, good morning. I just want to make this quick announcement. In the event that you try to talk to me and cannot hear me, I'm on an unstable line at the moment, so if I drop off, I will know it, but the only way you'll know it is through silence. So anyway, then just I'll try to get back in, but I should be okay. Anyway, good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Club. Exciting days, exciting things ahead here. And, you know, if you've gotten the notice, we all know this, and we'll cover this in a second. I want to go to Joe Norman first here today, though, but we all know that, that the dollar is not what we expected it to be. It's gaining ground on euro as we speak through the last week or so. However, we all know our dollar is worth less every single day, or let's say every week, every month, our dollar is getting weaker. That means that you can't buy the same thing with that dollar that you could a year ago. We won't get into the rule of 72 today, but at some point we will have some discussion on what really happens to your dollar. A lot of people hear that's going down. They don't realize, Joe, Dennis, and Dan, welcome, Dan, and they don't realize is how powerful that really is. I mean, if you're not thinking about that, chances are you're going to get caught one day in a, oh my gosh, what happened environment. And what has happened is because of the printing of more dollars without backing it with any precious metals, we've got in a position where our dollar doesn't buy what it used to buy, which simply means that inflation has eaten up our savings, our dollar, eaten up our life savings. It's taken something away from us instead of giving us something. And in our world, where we are now, you can get something as opposed to giving something away. And that's what we'll be talking about today is, why KB is the best thing that can happen for you now. It's the best choice you can have. So, but before we go there, we'll cover a few more things today. We're going to cover and give you the announcement, I believe, Dan, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, about making, at least we can cover the social media class today and whether you have a date for that. I think I saw something that you sent me, but we'll talk about that as well. I want to talk about also, pick up a few more of the reasons why people do not succeed in this home business arena. And we'll talk about that. And the reason we want to talk about why there's failure is so you can make an adjustment. But before we do all that, Joe Norman, is there anything you'd like to go over from the previous session, previous show, or and any updates you can give us today?
Well, I'll just go over the updates. Basically, we're sitting in the same situation. We announced Tuesday that they are upgrading the software, as everyone knows, in your back office, the point totals and the contracts, new contracts this month, which is basically a German way of saying new members in your organization that have done a monthly purchase plan. None of those numbers are accurate right now, and the reason they're not is they're uploading some new upgrades to the functionality of our dashboard and our tracking and accounting of what is going on in your organization. So the software upgrades, they are expecting completion on or before tomorrow. So it could be complete today, could be tonight, but they gave me a target date of on or before this Friday. So points and contracts will display new and improved functions and also the commissions in real time. Also, I think Bill Peters asked earlier the status of the starter packs, and once the new software is upgraded, then they have a list of things they're going to do next. Starter pack, which for those of you that may not know what that is, it's the ability for an affiliate, not a customer, an affiliate. One time and one time only, you will be able to purchase 1, 2, or 3 of the 1 gram units and get immediate delivery on it. Right now, as it stands, and after you exercise that option, from that point forward, the only way you can get immediate delivery is a one-time purchase of 10 or more grams. Not a monthly purchase plan, not a monthly purchase plan and a special purchase, but a one-time purchase of 10 or more grams. So we're expecting that to come on board either this weekend or the first of next week, and that's going to really accelerate sales. But I also want to just add real quickly, Joe, just in communicating with Court, we're seeing record sales. Last month's sales were up 25%. I think they're going to probably be closer to 75 to 100% increase this month. We're seeing just everyone's doing such a tremendous job, and I think the Breakfast Club is doing its part in training, educating people with the techniques, the marketing tools, the marketing outlets, the vocabulary, just the whole gamut of what the Breakfast Club has to offer. And also now you've got the women's featured call, and just a lot of things that are happening that are really giving people the tools and education they need to do what they want to do. Back to you, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Great update. That will be exciting to be able to do that. I hope everybody understands that and what that really means for us to be able to get that in our hands. That immediate purchase, immediate delivery. I think it's great. It's one of the things that we needed, and I hope. I'm assuming you guys were very instrumental in getting that done. So thanks, Joe Norman.
Joe, one other thing that I will say is we've had a challenge with people that just have been financially challenged. You know as well as I do, the people that have had the funds and have had the financial ability to get an immediate delivery, order enough gold to get immediate delivery, what it does to your belief system when you get these beautiful units. And I carry a couple of them around with me all the time, and I show them to everybody. And just like our marketing video says, people have two reactions. Where'd you get that, and how can I get one? It's just an awesome piece to have. So I know there's really four groups of people that we have that I want to talk about when you want me to bring it up. I know that in our marketing efforts, whether it's people you know, people you meet, or through the internet, or email blast, or social media, which I know Boomer's become an expert at that, whatever your marketing choice is, you're going to have four groups of people emerge from that marketing. And the first group are gold enthusiasts, Joe, that, they see this just like me. When I saw this, I was a yes waiting to happen. People that are in the first group, I call them gold enthusiasts. They're eager, ready, willing, and financially able to make an order right away. The second group are the group that just, they're curious, and they're financially able, but they just want to learn more. They're not ready to pull the trigger right away, but they're curious and financially able, but they just want more information. And then the groups 3 and 4, they're curious. They have many of the same attributes of group 1 and 2, but they just have lesser degrees of financial ability.
Yeah.
And so for those people, these one-time orders of 1, 2, or 3 of the 1 gram units, it's going to give people the ability to stick their toe in the water and you
right.
Order one gram for as little as, I think it's like $67 US now, the price. And most people would be willing to do that, to get one in their hands so they can show it to people to see what kind of response they're going to get. So,
absolutely.
Having said that, back to you, Joe.
Okay, let me do something to you, and I want to. One of the hosts of the Women's Club is on the call here, and I want to unlock your line, Deanna Kennedy. So I want to give you a chance to get ready. I'm not unlocking it this very second, but I want to unlock it because as opposed to waiting till the end of this call to make this announcement, let me just tell you that we are very excited about a woman's call. Here's what the women's call means. It doesn't mean it's just for women and only women call in. It's the women who conduct the call to have a perspective from the women who have a success in this industry, who know how to do two things. One, they know how to move product, and they know how to build a team. Cindy Belmonte, Deanna Kennedy hosted the first one last week. They will be doing that over and over again. We have a few more people that will be on that panel. It's kind of an extension of the Breakfast Club, but it's Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. But Deanna is with us on the line, and I wanted to ask you a few questions, Deanna, and take a few minutes here to just have a discussion. So if you're prepared, I know you can't answer until I unlock the line, but I'm going to do that and wanted to give you a chance to get ready. So your line is unlocked. Deanna Kennedy, welcome to the Breakfast Club.
Hi, Joe. Glad to be here.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you. Deanna, I mean, we were just talking about this, and this is one of the topics that will be at the forefront of the Women's Club, like it is here, is that no one gets paid unless product or service moves from manufacturer to consumer. It's true in all business. Something has to happen, and we get in the middle of it. So how important it is for you, in building your team, that your people make a purchase for their own, just like Joe said, to get this maybe one time in their hands, or get themselves in a position where they can spread the word that they are also consumers, not only marketers of our business and opportunity here.
Oh, it's very important. Like I said on the Breakfast Club women's show the other night, Tom Richardson immediately purchased cards, immediately, and gave one to me, gave one to a couple of other people, and like Joe Norman just said, I show it to everybody, and I look at it and I tell them this is the new currency. You might be looking at the next new world currency, and they're all interested.
So that's what you teach your group, is that, this is, I mean, obviously, you're not going to get paid. I mean, you can get all the people you want, but if you're not going to make a purchase, if no one is purchasing, no one's getting paid.
Right. And it's getting easier. I know some in our group have had difficulty purchasing, actually getting everything to work right. But, everybody's getting up and running and purchasing. So it's working. It just takes a little time.
Sure. Okay. Well, good. So we'll be making the announcement, and once again, women's call this week, and thanks for being a big part of that. And I'm going to leave your line open here, okay? So you know that if you have any background noise, you can go ahead and shut it down yourself, but I'm going to leave your line open in case you have some information here for us and so on. So let's move on.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Deanna.
Sure.
So anyway, what we want to do here is, Joe, we got these updates. We got record sales going on now. We're climbing 25%. Probably, like you said, it's going to be higher this week. That's great news. So let's go over to this, and Dr. Denis, really, and Joe and Boomer. Deanna, let's just chime in here together here. And Denis, let's just go to you first. But I'm not calling anybody individually as a rotation here. But let's just chime in together here and have a discussion here.
Sure.
We all know the economy is down. We all know that. We all know that there's something wrong here. We can blame whoever we want to blame. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter who's to blame. The bottom line is we're not in the same condition economically that we were 2, 5, or whatever years ago. We're just getting worse. And as I see it, the thing that excited me most of all here about when you introduced me to this was the fact that, this was an unbelievable market. Why? Everybody needs to increase their income. Everybody needs to secure their future. And as I can see, over thousands of years, the only way that's been done is with precious metals, and especially gold. It's certainly not fiat currency. That's certainly not been the way. So why is it, Denis? We all know this. We don't have to go over why, what is wrong. We all know this. The question is, why is KB the best? I mean, why is it that what do you guys see over this?
If I could, Joe, this is Denis. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah. Joe Norman sent, I'm going to relate this back to the story that answers that question. Joe Norman sent something around today with the notification of what's going on in KB today, Thursday, and Breakfast Club, and then at 3 o'clock Eastern, the live video broadcast with updates and etc. And at the bottom of that notification, he has a beautifully laid out statement about the KB product and the importance of authentication. And so if anybody hasn't gotten that, I'll just lay back to you, Joe Norman. Is that, first of all, let me ask you just a yes or no question. Is that up on the mykbgold.us website?
Absolutely.
Where would that be?
Homepage.
Okay, great. It is fantastic. Just now, why do we need something like that? Well, yesterday evening, I was on the phone with a good friend of mine who's a U.S. citizen but lives in Panama, with a friend of hers, a husband and wife, that also are U.S. expatriates and live in Panama for the last 3 years. And the woman just came into an inheritance. And they already own gold. They own, everything from gold eagles to doubloons, as far as I can tell. They got some in the U.S., some in Panama. But with this inheritance, they were intrigued by our product because of just what Joe Shoop is alluding to. And this is pure product. They were not interested in making money and getting free gold. That'll change when they finally get their mind wrapped around it. But they want to protect what they have for all the reasons Joe Shoop was just talking about. The idea of having small, transaction-friendly weights of the highest quality gold in the world, and with the Kinnibar seal on it, let's call it, the fact that it is authentic, you can authenticate the value of it, and it has international currency transaction value, and it has to be Kinnibar quality. And they appreciated all that, so they are getting ready now to make a purchase that we didn't hit strict specific numbers, but they were talking, is there a ceiling to this? They're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars a purchase when she gets the inheritance check, which is coming from, I think, Merrill Lynch. Whether it's any day or next month, I'm not sure, but it's very soon. And the authentication, as referenced in Joe Norman's email today, and that you can find on mykbgold.us, is the thing that flipped the switch. And so, Joe, I just wanted to answer that question with a story, because that is what establishes our value right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I want to give credit where credit's due. I did not come up with that. Lloyd Merrifield did, and he was gracious enough to share it, and I was just blown away like everyone else. He's awesome. Just brilliant stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is a testament to the caliber of brilliant thinkers that are being drawn to this. And then again, on the other flip side, you got people like Boomer and me, and just we're not the most high financial IQ person. So we still are teachable, coachable, and trainable, right, Boomer? All right.
Yeah, that's a fact, Coach.
Yeah. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I guess you don't want to comment on that, Dan. I'm not sure if you're agreeing or disagreeing.
Oh, it's the truth. Let me tell you what. I never picked a stock that made any money. Ever. I never picked a stock that made any money whatsoever. I lost every single penny I ever put in the stock market. So even my father, who was one of the financial planners for Eastman Kodak, in charge of reallocating $7 billion of their money, flying around the world, reorganizing and structuring each one of their global plants for maximum profit efficiency, and governing. You know what? He did pretty well, but none of that ever rubbed off on me. But you know what?
Probably hasn't rubbed off on a lot of people.
I'm tenacious like a bulldog on a bone, and I know the value of residual income, having worked as hard as you could possibly work, and then breaking your neck, and you can't work anymore. So no more money comes in. It's a very enlightening situation. The reality is, we're going through some incredible money changes, And I want to point out, if you haven't noticed, pay attention to how the mindset of our nation is slowly being changed to understanding some of the things that are going on with the money. Not with everybody, but if you pay attention and ask some questions, you will find that they're actually being bombarded with it in every form of media there is to their senses. They are slowly but surely being transformed into realizing what is going on with the money. And with that, we have the opportunity to show them key advantage points on bouncing our idea as the solution to solve the changes that are going to be affecting them and everybody else. Bounce our idea off the other side of their head, because the media, as soon as they get up out of bed and before they go back to bed at night, they have no less than 5 times, maybe even more, been bombarded with buy gold, precious metals, national debt out of control, protect yourself. And we have the best solution out there. Now we just got to bounce our idea off their head and sift who gets it and who doesn't. That's all we're going to do. Back to you, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier that, don't feel bad about saying you never picked them, because most people can't pick. Over 95% of the people who stock trade lose money.
Hey, Joe Shoop, let me say and summarize what Boomer and Dr. Dennis are too humble to not say, or they're too humble to say, and that is, even though they don't claim to have an expertise in the gold industry as far as day trading and
right.
they're not Harvard Business School, Wall Street ready type guys. Okay, even though that's the case, these are two guys that have two of the largest KB Vision businesses in if not North America, the world, and they are just crushing this thing because they're doing a great job at what they are good at.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, pretty cool. True. Yeah, this
let me put this in there. You know what? My grandfather told me do three things: show up, pay attention, and do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so have you ever? Let me ask anybody: has anybody ever Googled and seen the 11 people that originally put together Microsoft out of a strip mall warehouse? You ever seen that? 7 of those people quit because the software didn't work right at the beginning. They quit. The rest of them all became almost billionaires. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah.
They didn't recognize, the ones that quit didn't recognize what they had a hold of.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. Okay, well, let's do a couple of things here. And first of all, if you have any questions, just please 5-star on your telephone keypad. Don't see any at the moment. 5-star telephone keypad. And let's take a look at a couple of things. And let's see if we can pick this up. Then we'll go to, if you have an announcement at all, Boomer, about your class, that would social media, that would be great. But let's talk about that in a minute. Let's cover a couple of things here, people that I believe people should know. And Deanna and anybody chime in here with me. I'm going to cover the first 10 real quick. The reason people are not successful in the home business arena, and they call it network marketing. The problem is they have no written goals. They look for the big top producers instead of being one themselves. No commitment, but no action. And commitment, we know what that means. Schedule yourself to do something. Commit to your work. Commit to doing what you're supposed to do. What do? You expose people using the tools. That's what you do. But if there's no commitment, there'll be no action. You have to map out your days, times, when you're going to do that, and teach your people to do the same. How do you teach them? Put them on calls and show them what other people are teaching. You don't have to be a teacher. You just have to point them to the teacher. Unorganized. People unorganized, playing with documents on their desk. Not having things in order, not having the charts Joe talks about, the daily plan that's written down so you follow it, check it off at the end of the day, and make your new plan for tomorrow. Okay, poor record keeping, same thing. That's the second reason in conventional business. Poor record keeping. I mean, keep your records accurate as to what you're doing. Yes, we have a back office, but you need your own records and calls and contacts and follow-ups and things like that. So that's the top 5 reasons. The next 5 are people are only interested in their personal profits. That's pretty interesting, because we know this is a people business. You're going to help others to get to where you want to go. That's the number 6 reason people fail, is they're only paying attention to themselves. And there's the perfect example. Here's a group of people that the women's club, the women's call, the breakfast club here, the John Alfear's call, all these calls here. People are helping people all over, whether they're in their organization or not. Okay? No device, not having the proper device to answer your phone when you're not there. You need a proper professional message there, or at least a cordial one. Kids answering the phone on a business line and, singing songs and things is not a professional business. Take your business serious and put a nice message on your answering machine. Okay? And number 8 is not returning calls when people call you. Now, I have been guilty of that in a few instances here and there, and people calling, but we all do that. But most of the time, you need to be diligent and return the calls of not only the people that are prospects, but your own people. Not only do you have to do what's right for the consumer, you have to do what's right for the people around you, because in business, your reputation is everything. I learned that from a guy named Shane Rudman many years ago at Primerica. Not only do you have to do what's right for the consumer, you have to do what's right for the people around you. Because in business, your reputation's everything. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Return your calls. Here's another thing. This is number 9. People are uninformed on how to succeed in this business. Now, you may know that you have to make contacts, but if you don't know what to do and what to say, you got Dan Giralmo here, Boomer, who knows exactly how to teach you. You don't need to be the teacher. You need to point them to the teachers. Knows exactly what to do. So people are uninformed how to succeed. Don't just read it. Become a student. Okay? And number 10, people fail to keep appointments. Their agreements and their appointments. Those are the top 10 reasons. So any comments or anything on those, Dennis or anybody, there's the top 10. I'm going to read 5 more off and have a little discussion, and then and if you have any questions here, just hit 5-star on your telephone keypad. Anything, anybody jot it down. I do have a question from Bill. So before I go to Dennis, Bill at area code 859, ending in 07, your line's unlocked. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. What is your question?
Yeah, I got a couple. One is back to the 1 to 3 bars that you can buy as an affiliate for shipping. Is there a notation that you have to make when you order that, or do you just buy 3 bars and they just automatically do it?
Well, you always have to request delivery.
Okay.
Anytime you order an amount that qualifies for delivery, you always have to request it.
Okay. And then, go ahead.
No, I was going to say another question. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, the second question is where does it calculate how much the actual euro cost is for a gram? Is that when you hit purchase, or do you just put 100 euro in, and does that cover it, or how does that work?
Well, you just need access to a good currency conversion website, which we have posted at mykbgold.us, a direct link. All you have to do is just click on it under the purchase options tab, and it'll take you right there, and it'll say 1 euro equals how many US dollars, and you just put in, if you want to do 50 euros or whatever. But the first thing you need, it's kind of doing it backwards, because what we need, like if you want, let's just say, Bill, you want 3 grams. Joe, listed the reasons why people, have issues in this industry, but I mean, I kind of spin it the other way. The reasons why people succeed, good record keeping, and I don't claim to be the best in the world, but I every day I go into the back office, see what the euro price is, and this morning it was 55.90. Went to my currency conversion and saw that 1 euro equals $1.36 US, so I took 55.90 times 1.36. And that comes up with $76.02 US dollars per gram. That's what the price was this morning. And people need to learn how to do that. That's a part of our business. Everyone needs to know how to do. You just do. And are you willing to learn a few new skills? That's what what it gets down to. Anytime you take on a new venture, and let's just kind of look at it from a different perspective here, Bill. Let's just say that you were taking a position at an insurance company or a bank or whatever it might be. You pick the bit. You're going to have to learn some new skills to do that, to get your hourly wage or your salary or whatever you're trading your time for. And KB is no different. The only difference is you'll be grossly overpaid compared to trading time for money if you master the 5 foundational components. And in addition to that, there's some periphery things, just like what we're talking about right here, that you need to learn. That's just one of the I guess issues, or one of the components that you need to learn how to do. I've seen a lot of people disappointed that they placed their order and they got less gold than they thought. I did on my first order, and if I touch the stove and don't like the way it feels, and I'm going to learn to put an oven mitt on or something, and I now know you need to find out what it's going to cost you, and then once you have it down, US dollars per gram, you need to take that final number times, if you're going to use a credit card or a debit card, take that number times 1.035. That'll take into consideration the merchant fee of 3.5%. And that'll give you the exact amount, so there's no guessing. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, let's Denis and Boomer, Deanna, any comments here before I move on here? We're going to spend about a few more minutes just on these other ones, and then any comments, questions on these top 10?
Joe, I have one comment.
Sure.
Something that kind of goes along with both what the list that you and Joe Norman are talking about. You always want to stay with the natural flow of who you are, too. Kind of be true to yourself, because if somebody jumps out into something that they're not comfortable with, it is really hard, and it's much more likely that you're going to feel defeated. Yeah. So what I always suggest is take the best of what's in you. What do you do? What's your job? What are your surroundings? What do you know best? And start there. Begin there, because you can learn other things as you get more confident. But I think sometimes it's like if you try to do something that's too different from your normal day-to-day life, you get discouraged too easily. So that's just my comment.
Well, good, and I want to just tell everybody, well, that comment comes from somebody who a number of years ago, I don't know, it was in her first stint here in network marketing. I don't know how many of us are able to say this, but their first introduction had no clue what network marketing was about, and building teams, came right out of the chute and built a couple of $1,000 a month income in her first company moving along. And that's, she knows how to build here. She knows how to speak with people, and you'll find that out on the women's call on Wednesday nights, the first Wednesday of every month starting October 5th. So get in and get to know Deanna and Cindy Belmonte and the other women on these calls. So men, do not be hesitant. Get in there and support this call and learn.
And Joe, that was just from growing where I was planted. It was where I was, not trying to go out and do something else. I had to do it within where I was, and then it grew from there.
Yep. All right, let's move on to number 11 now. Here's another reason people don't follow up. We talked about this a little bit. They don't follow up on their prospects and their customers. It shows that they don't care. So that's one of them. You've got to make sure. It goes back to record keeping. keep the accurate records so you know who to follow up with. Let's take number 12. People give up too soon. We all know that the only reason you fail is you quit. We all know that. But people do end up leaving and quitting because they're not succeeding. Why? Because they're not following these rules. They're not developing their business the way they should. It takes skill here. It takes learning and time to learn that, as all of us are telling you. People get discouraged by small problems and inconveniences, and it slows them down. That's number 13. Number 14. Here's one that's very interesting. We don't find that here. We honestly do not find that here. That people badmouth other companies to tell you that they're better. You know, people have problems in life. That people that are always complaining and telling you what's wrong with everybody else is just really them telling, look how good I am. I'm not going to get into the psychological part of that, but that's really what it's about. When someone's always telling you and always criticizing other people and saying this is what they don't do and they don't do and they don't, and they're not this and they're like that. All of that is always about the person who's saying that is really trying to say, look how good I am. So this is a problem when you're bad-mouthing other companies. Do not bad-mouth other companies here at KB Vision. We have no competition. We're the only company that does what we do. This is an unbelievable opportunity to attach yourself to a company that's, as someone mentioned here this morning, is possibly introducing a new currency to the world. It's underway. It's an incredible opportunity. So don't badmouth other people. It's one of the reasons that people fail, because they do that. And people don't want to listen to you complaining about somebody else. Okay, and the next one is the last one we'll cover today. People not really serious about building a business. It says MLM, but it's about the people aren't serious. So just to recap that, people don't follow up. People give up too soon. They get discouraged over small problems. They badmouth other companies, and they're not serious about actually the home business arena and really building it, because most people we know are stuck. They're addicted to mediocrity, meaning that they don't really know that they're really addicted to this thing called mediocrity. And that comes into play when you'd rather watch a television show than get on the call and do your follow-up or go find another prospect. If you're not serious about it, that's the kind of stuff you'll do. So taking those things into consideration, let's have a little discussion about them and have some comments from you, Dr. D, or Dan, or anybody.
I have one. Yes. I have one. We sometimes overlook the fact that the majority of individuals are W-2 wage earners. Mm-hmm. And this needs to be brought up over and over and over and over and over again. What do the 14 million business owners know that now that the amount of workers has dropped, the 60 million employees do not? It's that the tax codes have been set up and written for business owners. I was on the phone last night till 12:30 in the morning. It was 3:30 in the morning to the person that we kept missing, but was so excited to talk to me, he stayed up so that we could do some training. This was a reference back from an international contact 12 and a half hours ahead, highly inconvenient for me to work. But you know what? What is it worth to you? What is it worth to you to be successful at your business? What is it worth to you? If you take that into effect, that you will succeed if you do what others will not do, and try and stay along your vertical alignment of what makes you happy, how you prioritize your time, what's important to you most, whether it's God, country, family, job, however that a vertical alignment works out. TV probably last. If you do that, you're going to be happy. Now, the point was he makes a very good income. He's a W-2 employee. Do you realize? I point out the fact. Do you realize that? Have you ever owned a home-based business before? He goes, no. I said, okay. There's some. We'll get some coaching on that. But record keeping, etc. Do you ever take vacations? He goes, yeah. I said, I don't. I take business trips. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, having a home-based business gives you other advantages in an overlap of life. I'm not here to give you any tax counseling or advice. Ron Mueller has a wonderful program, and it's hosted on several different sites. You can see it on the tools on mykbgold.us. that particular program there is very informative. You know, if you go take a trip with your family and you discuss business, so you enroll somebody in your family, and you go visit, and you literally are conducting business there, that whole trip is pretty much tax deductible. So I pointed out a person making $35,000 to $45,000 a year on a W-2 wage, owning a home-based business, and this is direct. You can find it in many different sources. This isn't from me. You can see it in other professional sources. Throws away, without a home-based business or another business, about $3,000 to $6,000, not of deductions, cash back in their hand. That's $500 a month at the high end that you could be putting into your own gold plan. You want to fund it? Open your own business. Do you understand that the fact that you open, if you're a W-2 wage earner, and that you open a KB business, you're allowed deductions, and I'm not going to go into those. You can find those out. You're allowed deductions that you can go into your employer and increase your withholdings, the number of withholdings, and actually get that cash back in your hand now, not later, now, and use that to fund your plan. As a matter of fact, if you're a W-2 employee and you don't have a KB Gold plan, if you get one, become an affiliate. I'm going to tell you what: change the withholdings on your paycheck. You're literally there's your money to fund your plan, because you're just throwing it away otherwise. Now, anybody else have any comments on that? Feel free to chime in.
You said it all.
So what's the solution? Right? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Somebody was saying something. I don't know who that was, but...
No, I just said it's absolutely true. If you think you can't get started, if you think you don't have the money to invest, and you're an employee, that's exactly how to get, $200, $300, $400 to begin.
Yep. Okay, let me give you, we're right at this mark now where we got to start moving to a close. So let me just say this to you. Let me, before we go here to an update with Boomer, but let's say this. Let's just summarize this right now. I'm going to give you a summary of what we were talking about today. This is how you build a business. This is what you do to get in here and have a strong business. One, you got to prepare. You have to start with your things to do list every day, just what Joe Norman says. Every day, prepare. Prepare. I do it, Joe, before I go to bed. That's when my book comes out, my things to do book, and it comes out, and I do that before I go to bed. That's the best time for me. That's what I was taught. So some people do it in the morning. I do it at night. I check my day off and then make my list for tomorrow, move things over I didn't get done. I also keep another book with all the things I have to do. Certain books, they just keep getting bigger and crossing off and then moving them to my appointment book. That's what I do. Number two is, so here's your day. Let's just say, here's your summary, what you want to do. You prepare by doing your things to do. Number two, you check your updates every day at mykbgold.us. Check what's going on. Check the new things, the new affiliate things. Look in there and find out what's new. That's number two. So you sit at your desk, you're all prepared, you go check things out. Number three is you make your contacts. This business is about sharing the information with people and finding interested people. You don't try to interest people, you find the interested ones. Okay, you do that by sharing the tools, the information, the video, however you're doing it. It comes down to learning how to do that, but you have to make contacts. And we're going to cover the social media part of this in a second. But that's what you do. And who are the contacts? New people. Number one. That's the lifeline of your business. That's the blood of your business. Is finding new interested people. Number two, you follow up with your appointments, and that includes your three-way calls. So that's what your contacts are all about: new people, and your follow-ups mean your old people. New business, old business. Follow-up, including the three-ways. Number four, you have to attend conferences and shows like this and conference calls and webinars and broadcasts. Learn and get the information from other people. That's what you need to do. You need to attend things like the Skype rooms and so on. Attend these types of calls and participate. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to raise your hand. And then once again, that's 5-star if you have a question. And ask questions. Okay, and number 5, you help others. You send info to your people. If you have somebody new, put them on your list and have an update all the time for your people. Maybe they got it from us. Who knows? But send and get in the habit of sending information to the people you need to help. You send them the information. You send them to the calls, the conferences, and the broadcasts. So they're the top 5 things you need to do to be successful in your business. So I'm going to add some comments to that, Joe Norman or anybody, Dr. Dennis. Let's do that, and then we're going to need to move on to get an update from Boomer.
Very quickly, yes, you need to understand, in order to be successful, you've got to get a new set of skills trained. You have to. It's not going to materialize without that. You really need to do that. Some of those were learned through the hard knocks in life, and some you have to just kind of dial in, like you listen to a radio and you can hear the music, but it's got static. You just have to adjust it a little bit, and then it's solid music. If you need to attend certain training and information meetings, but if you just go and by yourself, you're just a student. If you invite people to them, now you're not just the student, you are doing a unit of work. It's really important. Don't go by yourself. Bring other people to it and promote it. If you do that, not only are you getting the meat you need, you're also increasing your exposure so that others can learn the set of skills they need to do that too. That's that.
Thanks, Tim. Okay, anybody else? Dr. D. Where are you?
Okay, I'm unmuted now. I just
there you go.
There. Great information all around. Just once go back to my little story there. Yesterday evening, put on some phone with some people who have a lot of money, who are coming into a lot of money, and all the things that are taught on this call empowered me to be successful because I directed them to tools they needed. I asked them a lot of questions rather than give them a lot of answers. I totally disclaimed myself as an expert in gold. I'm a retired chiropractor. And this man's talking about all this different types of gold, and I said, look, I'll tell you what I know and what I don't know. I don't know a lot. I know a little, but what I know, the little I know, is important for you. The money you're inheriting, KB would be a great place to put at least some, if not all of it. And here's why. And then the same little thing. Transaction-friendly, highest quality, authentication, and you can all look that all up on the website. So, but what do they say? Like 3 phrases right there: highest quality, transaction-friendly, small weights, which is smart as you can imagine in an emergency, because you can go down and buy bread and gas and this sort of thing, and authentication. And they've been doing it for a long time. They've been very successful, and the storage can be in Switzerland or sent to you. Anybody on this call knows all those things. I didn't have to go into any long diatribe on anything. I said, I know that really, really well, but you'll see it for yourself. Here's where you go, kb-vision.com, and you go to mykbgold.us, and then Deb will get in touch with you later and put you in touch with someone who really knows, and that's Joe Norman, and he can answer some of the other questions you have. And it was successful, doing simple things, asking questions, but not pretending to be the expert, giving them a little bit that I know with an upbeat voice, and referring them to the tools, and then telling where to go after the tools, which is to a real authority. And I could be anybody, but I picked Joe Norman. So this works. Everything that's being taught on this call works. That's my message, Joe. Thanks for everybody for doing that.
Yeah, I have a question for you there, Dennis. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the question. The current economic conditions have been a real concern for me. I'm sure they have been for you too. But with this in mind, I've taken a position with a German company. It's completely vertical in the precious metals industry. They own their own gold mines, their own refinery, and their mint. And our company is looking to establish new locations to connect the gold refinery and the mint directly to the consumer. So let me ask you this question. Would you or somebody you know be interested in managing a gold business?
Well, would I have to open a...
You don't have to answer that question. I want people to hear something. This is Joe Norman. This is Joe Norman. We talked about this the other day. That's what you need to learn. You need to understand that. Look, I just read that. I don't have it memorized yet. I just read that. But that's the way it has to sound. You need to be able to be confident enough to say, our company is looking to establish new locations to connect the gold refinery and the mint directly to consumer. Would you or someone you know be interested in managing a gold business? Maybe a brick and mortar and online locations available. Would you or someone you know be interested in managing? So, and get your answer. I mean, it's just, that's an incredible question, Joe. I know we talked about this before, but it really is. And people need to go to mykbgold.us. This is part of the skills. It's what it says. Learn the skills, the language, and the vocabulary. And there's a couple of phrases here. I happen to like this one the best, but you need to learn that, people. So go there and take the advice of a guy who knows how to do this. So learn that phrase, and so that you are prepared when someone says, well, what do you actually do, Mary? Well, let me ask you a question, Bob. You know the current economic conditions have been a real concern for everybody, right? With that in mind, I've taken that. That's what you need to do. You need to get it down so that just Deanna said it. It's got to sound like you. It's got to be you. You got to be comfortable with it. If you don't know how to say that, you're not going to be comfortable with that. So anyway, that's just a suggestion there. Please go back to that and learn that skill. And with that, Boomer, let's go over to you're holding this class. Let's take a few minutes here and give us an update on what's happening with the social media arena here that you are now teaching. So can you help us out?
Sure. I just want to put a disclaimer. I am not some type of outstanding social media guru. I just know how to work it from being a knucklehead, learning a few things, plugging in, and fine-tuned a few things that really work well. There's an etiquette behind it. October 6th, that's a Thursday, at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will do another training on what I do and how I use Facebook. Now, understand, social media. Here's an example. Pepsi-Cola pulled all of their commercials for Super Bowl, and they're going to put it all into social media. You want to know why? Ask Coca-Cola. All right? So Thursday, October 6th, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'll show you how to work Facebook to find an endless supply of people in a sifting process that want to find out what you know. Okay?
Hey, Deanna, I want to remind you to make that announcement on the Wednesday night club in case someone forgets. Obviously, we're not a part of that here at the Men, but you guys are going to mark that down and make that announcement for everybody to get in that class the following night.
No problem. I will also post it in Facebook.com/KB Stadium. I'll post that in there also. I'll also post it out into the KB Leaders Room. It's just a way, there's an etiquette about it. I'm going to go over that too. And just show you what I do as I start to follow up on that. Okay? And like I said, some of you may know, some of you may, I wish I knew what you forgot. But being even in a simplistic form, there's no reason why anybody cannot have as many leads as they want. But there is a way that makes it work, and there's another way that makes it not work. And you need to know what that is.
Okay, well, with that, for Deanna Kennedy and Joe Norman, Dan Girolamo, Dr. Dennis Steigerwald, this is Joe Shoop. I hope you have a fun day. I hope you learned something here today, and the next time, share some stuff with us, maybe through some questioning that you have with us. And had a few today, but if you have any questions, just please feel free to do that. Dan, any announcements here for upcoming stuff?
Not on our particular stuff. Today at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, is kbgoldevents.com. That's kbgoldevents.com, our affiliate question and answer session. I highly encourage you all to be there, and if you have people in your group, I would highly take 10 minutes, make a call to 5 of them. See if you can get them on there instead of just posting stuff. We need to go back to having a little live communication and see who's on board.
Okay. Well, listen, have a great day, everybody, and thanks for all being here. Have a great day.